Big updates on Urgarte, De Ligt and Mazraoui from Fabrizio Romano this morning. It is Monday, it's the 5th of August. United officially back from pre-season tour. Look ahead to Manchester United against Manchester City. Everything goes into overdrive. We're expecting deals, we're expecting action, we're expecting players leaving Manchester United. This is going to be a big week and we are kickstarting it right here, right now on Forever United TV. Get your comments in the live chat. Get your comments in when it has finished. If you're playing catch up, we have got you covered with all Manchester United news to set you up for, like I said, what is going to be a mental week, it would seem. News on several players this morning coming out, and we're expecting the news to continue throughout the day, so I'll have you covered. So make sure that you've hit that subscribe button so you're up to date with everything when it does break. And of course, just give the video a like because you're loving the free content, everybody. I'm Adam. Welcome along, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank God the tour is over. That's all I can say. Thank God we are back to normality now, it would seem. Does that mean that Manchester United get a move on in the transfer window, though? Because it has been a quiet 2 weeks for actual, here we go, significant news. Let's just say that, shall we? I can see everyone in the chat already is like, are we actually going to get some confirmation today? Or maybe Mazraoui, or maybe De Ligt. Well, Fabrizio Romano was talking late yesterday and he's gone over absolutely everything that's happening with Manchester United. Obviously, I think Fabrizio can't survive without Manchester United. It is his biggest pull, obviously. But he is all over everything that's happening with Matheus De Ligt and Rafaela Pimenta, the agent of both players, has been told by Manchester United to inform both players, as well as the club informing both players, that we are still coming. The saga will be over soon. Fresh bids and offers from Manchester United are going in this week, in the coming days. We talked yesterday about Bayern Munich standing firm, not budging. Are Manchester United the ones that are going to make the move? Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United are going to make another move on both of these players. It will be a double bid, a package deal for both Mazraoui and Matheus De Ligt. They want both of these players over the line as quickly as possible. Both players waiting to get on that plane and fly over to Manchester to complete medicals and sign contracts, because they've already agreed terms verbally with Manchester United on the deals for each player. Pimenta has secured them. That is all in place. Everything is ready to go. It's just a case now of Manchester United meeting or getting closer to Bayern Munich's number and what they need for both players. Both players happy, like we said. Bayern Munich have got their price tag, like we said yesterday in the late show. And Manchester United now, I think I've had that incentive to go in with a fresh bid. Go in with something, probably not, and I don't expect it to be what Bayern Munich want. I think it'll be something closer than what they've already bid. And obviously we're hearing rumours about the different prices and what's been said and how much Manchester United have actually bid so far. But we're never going to know the actual price until these deals are done. I think that's how we're going to have to look at it. But we are expected to go in with another bid. Romano has said it this morning and last night that United will be a package deal. It will be for both players. They want both through the door before the Community Shield. And that's a bit of an ask. That is a bit of an ask, because I think Mazraoui, yes, but United being so far away from Matheus De Ligt's price. Like we said yesterday, 60 million doesn't seem like a bad offer from Bayern Munich. United rate the players less, though, and they're going to stick to their guns and go in with what they think. So what is the price that it's going to be? We discussed yesterday, should we be going over the top for these two players? Should we be going all out for players that probably, when everyone's fit, are not going to be first-team players? Well, it does seem that Manchester United are prepared to take both of it. I just cannot see United not getting either one of these players. Look, we're having to wait. We're having to dig in here. We're having to just sit this out and just accept what's happening as fans. It's frustrating as hell, I know. I'm with you guys on this. It does my head in when we just have to drag things out. But like we've said in all the shows we've done, we have to have an understanding of what's going on right now, where financial fair play is, how difficult it is for clubs to actually negotiate. I think the clubs cannot afford players anymore. It is that tight with PSR and financial fair play. They just cannot get deals done. I've been saying this all along. I've been saying it all summer. You have to understand financial fair play and what needs to happen. I'm going to go into more detail on that in a minute, actually, and what Romano has also said. There is just so many players moving around right now. Until certain deals are concluded, the clubs need absolute clarity and definites and 100% here we goes before we can make things happen, it seems. No one is taking a risk. No one is spending beyond their means, and no one wants to risk penalties. No one wants to risk being fined or even getting points deducted like the Premier League has said. Look, we're all having to do the same thing, and this is why this transfer window has been so slow. Until these rules change, we're not going to get real changes in financial fair play until the City and the Premier League saga has been concluded, and no one is saying anything about that at the moment. So it's as you was, no one taking risk and everyone sticking to them strict rules of financial fair play. And it has completely ruined transfer windows. We know this. There's no excitement in it at all. So, yeah, just accept that the clubs are all having to battle it out. Whatever prices you may think are right, they're probably 10, 15 million under. Clubs are having to come to an agreement and actually discuss amongst themselves, like, what is fair. If, like we said the other day, Matthijs De Ligt, Bayern Munich need a replacement. Bayern Munich want to buy Jonathan Tah from Leverkusen. They had a price. They've had to drop their price for Jonathan Tah. Maybe Bayern Munich will drop a little bit and come to a term with Manchester United when a fresh bid goes in. Like, everybody's having to have an understanding that, you know what, if we come together, then the prices of these players will come down and everybody can survive. Because let's be honest, without everybody in these leagues, nothing and nobody's going to survive. There's going to be no money at all. So, yes, where the big clubs are trying to stretch their advantage. Look, they have got big squads. Even the Manchester Cities of this world struggling to sell players on. They need to make room themselves. So it's all right having all of the money under the sun, but if you don't fall into the guidelines, then you're not going to succeed. Everybody's struggling to get rid of players. And it's all about structures and recruitment now with a lot of teams. This is why there is so much of an emphasis on youth players coming through the ranks right now in every single football club. Teams are looking for the best offers for certain players. They're not going to get them. It is inevitable. They're not going to get them. If you have any sort of sensible structure in place, you are not going to bid stupid amounts of money. United didn't have it before, and that's why we're worse than anybody else in terms of what money we bring in compared to what we've got available to spend. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. But that's the mistake that United seen before, and that's where every other club took advantage of Manchester United, and that's not happening anymore. Look, Bayern Munich will come down a little bit, I think. United will get De Ligt and Mazraoui. We don't get this far into deals and it not happen. I understand everybody saying we should just walk away. Yes, fair enough. But at this stage, so close to a season starting, I don't think Manchester United are confident in other players that they've been looking at. They have to get De Ligt and Mazraoui. And I think it will happen. Craig, who's been a member for 9 months, has just renewed. Would you be worried if no one comes in this week? This week, no. Next week, yes. End of the window, panic mode, to be honest. That's where I would be. Look, I want to be as ready as possible for the start of the season, and I hope Manchester United do as well and make these deals happen in the next couple of weeks, Craig. I think it's important, but if it gets to the end of the window and no one else comes in, then yeah, I'm pressing the panic button because this squad is not good enough. I've just read a great article on United Districts in terms of two things that Ineos have to get done, which is sell Casemiro and Wan-Bissaka. You have got players going into this season that are not good enough in their eyes, going into big roles and have a lot of responsibility and not good enough to handle that. Not good enough to handle them roles or that responsibility. That's what United have got in so many positions right now. It's like Jordi says there. Scott, 30 million, Sancho, 30 million, Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 40 million, 100 million for De Ligt, Mazraoui and Urgarte. Won't happen, Jordi. The prices that United think they're going to get for players are not going to get. If we're looking to knock down prices for other players, what do you think other teams are going to do to Manchester United? This is why we're at around about 23, 25 million for Scott and not 30 million. It's why we're at about 15 million for Wan-Bissaka when he should be 25 million. Teams cannot afford to spend big money anymore. You'll have the odd deal here and there that goes through, and like Declan Rice, superstar player, basically, has made a massive difference, and West Ham are still able to spend because they've still got all of that money for a homegrown player. So they're able to balance. They got weird and wonderful scenarios like that that will help a lot of teams out and look like they're spending well. Everybody looks in from the outside. How come they can do it? How come they can do it? Well, look, United can't because we're the ones that are wasting money in years gone by. So as far as we're at with De Ligt and Mazraoui, the money is there and United can make this one happen. We've got enough to go on. We do need to shift out Wan-Bissaka and then we can get both players in. I think that's the key deal breaker in this one. I think Lindelof will then follow because De Ligt has come in. And only when De Ligt is in, I think United will then move on Lindelof. Romano has been talking about this as well, because United need to move a lot of players out to make Urgarte happen as well. There's an update on him. Talks will continue this week with PSG, and United need to move players out. It's as simple. They need to make more money. They can't afford to bring in Urgarte. They haven't got what is needed, and they're hoping that PSG will come down in price. They're hoping that they can sell players to make the bid. They 100% want Urgarte. He wants to move to United. Nothing has changed. But Romano has also said that this one will probably go right to the deadline day. So don't expect Urgarte in Manchester United's side come the start of the season. Definitely not. According to Romano, there's just too much United need to do before that player comes in. And yes, bringing in Mazraoui and Matthias De Ligt, that's good. That's a bit more squad depth. With all of the players coming back this week from international duty, United should have enough to get through August. And then let's see where we're at with Urgarte. But if United get through August and don't bring in another midfielder, then I'm with you guys. I do start to panic a little bit. There will be another midfielder or two coming in. There has to be. Otherwise, Ten Hag knows he won't be able to play the way he wants to with just Casemiro there. Let's not forget, we've let go of Amrabat. We're looking to sell Scott McTominay. We're expecting another offer from Fulham this week. Fenerbahce could play their card this week as well. Now that everybody's back, a full-on conversation and meeting will be had. It's expected this week with United and the recruitment team again. And we all know what happened after the last one of them. Things moved very, very quickly. A deal for Urgarte was completed while Euro bid went in, was accepted, and everything moved forward. Right now, Manchester United will be coming back into Carrington today, dealing with everything that they have to deal with, getting Obi Martin over the line, signed, sealed, finalised, shirt held up, everything like that, getting the results of all of the initial fitness tests and everything for the players coming back of international duty, doing all the necessary stuff, and then it will move on to the clear negotiations for players. But De Ligt and Mazraoui, we're expecting movement this week. Urgarte, not so. We're expecting that third bid from Fulham to come in for Scott McTominay, whether Fenerbahce will move. Wan-Bissaka to West Ham. Lindelof away, possibly Fenerbahce as well. Pellistri is back in training, so he will get finalised, and we'll find out what's happening with him. We've got Hannibal Mejbri for either Celtic or Rangers. That deal ongoing and being talked about as well. And everything put together out of the way. Sancho will be end of the window. There are reports in the Telegraph today saying that Manchester United could U-turn for Ivan Toney. Again, Toney keeps on creeping into the conversation. Honestly, I'll just give my own opinion on this. Right? United cannot afford to buy Ivan Toney right now. Jadon Sancho has to be moved on if Manchester United are to get Ivan Toney or any other striker. They have to sell Sancho. They may have to take the hit with Jadon Sancho and sell him for maybe 30 million and not the 40 million. It is impossible for United to get what we need in other positions, and right now it is defence and midfield which are priority before we even think about bringing a forward in. So yeah, how much can Manchester United get together for Hannibal, Pellistri, Lindelof, even Jadon Sancho? The problem that you've got right now, I feel, is that Manchester United would have liked to have kept Scott McTominay and got rid of Casemiro for a similar package. It just suited them better in every single way, because Scott McTominay is happy to be a squad player. He is more effective off the bench than probably what Casemiro would be. Casemiro's on stupid wages compared. And with Casemiro staying, this looks like what Manchester United's transfer window is hinged on. The fact that he hasn't got any offers on the table and United can't get rid of Casemiro is a big dent in Manchester United's whole transfer plan this window, because he was banked on us going. We've talked about Casemiro and him staying and the pluses and the negatives with it, but still, United would have had it in their plan to get rid of Casemiro and that money be spent elsewhere. I actually think that they would have kept Scott McTominay if Casemiro wasn't staying. I think Scott McTominay has been made the player to leave because of his contract situation. Because of the situation that we can't get rid of the Brazilian. So, yeah, some people would say I'd rather get rid of Scott than Casemiro. Honestly, if you would have asked me, I think the important move probably would have been getting rid of Casemiro over Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay's a better squad player for me in terms of coming on and having an impact. Casemiro wants to be first team player. He's on bigger wages. I think it just made more sense. And I'm not saying Casemiro's a worse player than Scott. He's by far a better player. But the age of what he is, the contract that he's on, the way that he's struggling at the moment, and him not wanting to sit on the bench like Scott McTominay would do, you can see where I'm going with it. The problems are very, very clear right now, what United are having to deal with. Casemiro, I don't think, can play a full season out. So, whereas nothing is happening right now in the midfield department, guys, United cannot afford to not go out and buy another midfielder. We will be getting another midfielder in before this transfer window ends. Let's get into some of your chat quickly while we've got the opportunity. I don't usually get a chance to on the morning show, but quickly let's get some of your thoughts before this week really kicks off. Hi Adam, great to see you again. Do you think Modric would have been forced to retire at 34 if he was at United? Look, United are not in as comfortable position as what Real Madrid are in. They're winning trophies, mate. Different circumstances. You can house players like that if you're winning. And let's not forget, behind him, you've got Valverde, Camavinga, Tuamina, and you've even got Toni Kroos as well to interchange with him. What have United got? That's the answer to that one, mate. But thanks for the question as well, buddy. If Max Kilman is 45 million, surely Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott are worth more than 20 million. Again, that's a player going to West Ham who can afford it. That's what we're dealing with right now. And let's not forget, in terms of Scott and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, both coming to the end of their contract. And that's where United have fallen down. They've not sold players at the right time. And now we're into the last years of the contract. Other teams are going to take advantage of that. You are not going to spend that amount of money on a player who has got 1 year left. You will wait it out. You'll say, take this price now, or we'll just wait till next summer and we'll take him for nothing. So United haven't got as much wiggle room and negotiating room with Wan-Bissaka. That's the reality. Adam, do you see a time when United will say like PSG, Real Madrid, where they will only buy as 1/2 players, and that's all they will need once we get up and running? I've got a long way to go before that, Peter. Sorry, there's a few typos in there, mate, then. But in terms of only needing to buy 1 or 2 players in transfer windows like we used to, yeah, we need to get the foundations in place before them days come back again, mate. Well, hopefully we will, yeah. I can see it happening with the structure we've got, but let's not forget we've got a lot of work to do before that comes in. If you could get 3 defenders and 2 midfielders, who would you bring in, Adam? If you could get 3 defenders in. 3 defenders? I don't know what 3 defenders we could bring in. I'd love Kodoglu. I'd like him in. Obviously, De Ligt right now, I would take him. Mazraoui, I don't mind. I've got a little bit of an issue with his injuries, but he's happy to be back up to what we've got. I like Kodoglu. I think he's a great player. I would take him definitely. De Ligt, yep, happy with that one. Again, injury concerns for him and Mazraoui, but they would be the 3 defenders. Midfielders, I would love Zubimendi. I'd take Zubimendi and Amrabat personally. But it's not going to happen. But yeah, they would be the ones that I would be looking at. Let's see what else we've got. Get through a few more of your comments. Kroos doesn't play football anymore. No, I'm talking about the yesteryears, mate, and like what it was like. If they don't sign 4 and sell 6, then it's curtains for the season. Adam, Kroos retired, mate. I know. God's sake, guys. Seriously, wake up. I know. We're talking about what they were doing before. If we could sign 2 mids, who would you bring in? People asking me the same midfielders again. Honestly, there's plenty of players out there who would get that we can't get. I don't want to play FIFA or Championship Manager with it. It's not realistic. I know what type of players United should be going for, but I understand why we're going for the other types of players. We're trying to get players in that are going to be in that defence. Look, once this window is done, we should not have to look at buying any significant centre-backs again. Yeah, we could maybe buy in younger players that can come through. Like, we have got Martinez, we've got De Ligt, we'll have Yoro. There are 3 players there that are going to be here for years at Manchester United. So we won't have to be buying significant centre-backs again in windows. It should be over this summer. Yeah, if we can get Urgarte in, we're pretty stable there. And that's when that question that someone asked me before, like, when are we going to get to that stage when Manchester United can just bring 1 or 2 players in? It's when you start getting younger players in that you know are going to be there for years, then you can just add, add in areas, just little bits that need improving here and there, or maybe just buying that one big player instead of going out and buying 4 or 5 players. Urgarte fits better than Zubimendi. Disagree, Adam. Zubimendi's 20, for me, well, 20 times probably worse, but he's a better footballer. For what Ten Hag needs, he's a better baller and he disrupts play as well. So Zubimendi all day for me on that one. Financial fair play doesn't affect United. The club is skin, hence sell to buy. That's exactly what financial fair play is, Leon. You have to sell to buy. You have to balance your books, mate. So you answered your own question there. De Ligt is average in the last 6 or so years. He's average only missing 7 games per season. So if that continues, we'll all be happy. Look, a lot's been made out of the injury record of Matthijs De Ligt and Mazraoui. But look, if United can keep them fit and United can keep them available and use them the right way, then, like we said, like both of these players are coming in, and when everyone's fit, I don't think they're guaranteed starters. I do. I think it's Dalot, I think Yoro, Martinez, and Luke Shaw. That's Manchester United. That's what it is. Guys, how have we got 1,100 in the room and only 166 likes? My mods, where are you? You should be asking people. Please give the video a like, guys. We are just about to finish up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this early morning. We are going to have a very, very busy week, I think, guys. Very busy week. Just to recap, United going in with more bids on, a dual bid for Matthijs De Ligt and Mazraoui. We're expecting that in the coming days. More talks with Urgarte will continue, but it is thought that we will be heading to the back end of the transfer deadline day before Urgarte is concluded, because United need to sell all the other players. So, De Ligt, Mazraoui in, then expect a load of players to be leaving if United can do, and then and only then will United dip back into the transfer market. We have got one hell of a 3-4 week period coming up, guys. It is going to be mental. It's going to be mad. I've got you covered. Please subscribe to Forever United TV. Please give this video a like. I want 500 likes on this video, guys, when it finishes. Get your comments in below now once the live is finished. Give me your thoughts on how you see United handling this next 3 weeks before the window slams shut. We did have a poll up there as well. We've had loads of people voting on it. Do you think United will sign a player this week? 80% of you have said yes, 20% no. I'm going to end that poll now, and that is us all finished, guys. Thank you so much. Moz members, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us on the show. I will see you later on at 12 o'clock with your update, fully interactive show, going into more detail on everything we talked about this morning and all other news that's come out with Manchester United. Have a good morning, guys. I will see you all later on.